So this is what you have been doing? You are cheating on me with this hungry-looking thing.
When will you ever have sense?
She's not just anyone, she's my choice. Your replacement.
My replacement, Key? After everything I have done for him.
You have to understand what Mmasi was before Olisa happened to her. Because the girl crying on that tarmac, that was not the original Mmasi. The original Mmasi was an Onitsha babe in the truest sense. Sharp, calculating, and completely unbothered. She sold fabric at her auntie's shop in Main Market 5 days a week between the noise of generators, the smell of stockfish, and the shameless negotiation of Igbo traders. She was beautiful in the way that stops traffic, smooth caramel skin, a face that carried itself like it knew its own value, and a body that had caused at least 3 near accidents on New Market Road. Men came. Men always came. There was the Alhaji from Abuja who brought her gold earrings the first time he visited the store. The Delta oil contractor who sent her momo alert she never asked for. The Enugu married man who thought buying her jollof rice made him special. Mmasi collected what they offered, gave out fake numbers like free samples, and reported everything to her friends like a field journalist. They screamed with laughter. "Mmasi, you no get pity." She would shrug. She didn't. Her finest performance was the birthday trick. On a Tuesday that was nobody's birthday, she had called 3 different men, 3 separate stories, same urgency, birthday photo shoot, small chop, new dress. All 3 sent money. She spent the money, called in sick to all 3 that evening, and slept soundly. Her friends called her a genius. She did not disagree. Then, Olisa Okafor walked into the market to buy Ankara for his mother. He smiled at her while counting change, this slow, crooked smile, like he had a private joke with himself, and something in Mmasi's chest moved that had not moved in years. She gave her real number. She didn't even notice she had done it until he was gone. Within 3 months, she was a different person. He had nothing. A room in Fege, a struggling printing business, and a dream that was mostly debt. Her friends warned her. Her mother warned her, her auntie warned her. Mmasi laughed at all of them, mocked their singleness, their empty hands, their lack of a man to even fight over. Una they jealous me. When Olisa blow, I go remind una. She meant it as a promise. It became a prophecy, just not the one she expected. What Mmasi did for Olisa would make your head shift. She paid his shop rent when the landlord threatened to padlock it in front of customers. She bought a second-hand risograph printer on credit from a trader in Main Market and put it under her name, so that his business could take bulk flyer orders. She hawked his services to every market woman, church secretary, and NANS student she knew until his order book filled up. When he had no data, she recharged his phone. When he had no fuel, she brought him money and didn't count it. When he was sick, a bad malaria that laid him flat for 2 weeks, she moved into that single room in Fege and nursed him. She washed his clothes, his jean trousers and duvet. Even when Olisa insisted on taking the clothes to a dry cleaner, she insisted, saying, "Why would another person wash my man's clothes when I am here?" She stopped going out. She stopped collecting money from admirers. She stopped being the Mmasi that Onitsha had known. Her friends watched with the quiet horror of people watching a car roll slowly toward a ditch.
"I beg, Mmasi," her best friend Chidinma said one evening. "You are a whole market babe. This man is using you." Mmasi didn't argue. She attacked. She said Chidinma was bitter because no man had chosen her. She told another friend, Ugochi, that her relationship was a joke and she should face her single life. She called her cousin a poverty cheerleader. She posted cryptic captions on her WhatsApp status. Some people hate love because love has never chosen them. And everyone knew exactly who she meant. They stopped talking to her. She didn't care. Because in those same months, Olisa started winning. A big church in GRA discovered his printing quality, then a campaign office, then a school uniform contract. The business that Mmasi had funded, registered, and whispered into existence began to breathe real money. She was happy. She told herself, "This is what I stayed for." But something in Olisa was shifting in a direction she couldn't see yet. He started coming home later, started keeping his phone face down, started wearing new cologne she hadn't bought. She asked, he said it was business stress. She believed him because she had invested too much in this story to consider a different ending. The first time she heard his name mentioned alongside another girl's, it was at the market, in a whisper between two women who stopped talking when they saw her coming. She should have asked. She didn't. Instead, she planned a surprise visit to his shop with a packed lunch, Mmasi's ofe akwu and white rice, the meal he always said he loved most. What she found was not what she had prepared for. The shop was locked. His location pin showed Onitsha Palace Hotel. She called a keke and she went. We already told you what happened outside Onitsha Suites, the car, the hiding, the kiss, the word, replacement. But what you don't know is what happened later, because Olisa did not let it end in the car park. He came to her house, not to comfort her, but to be heard and to collect some of the things he had bought for her. He crouched slightly as if speaking to someone smaller and spoke in a low voice so that only she could hear. Calm, like a business closing statement. He told her he appreciated everything she did. He told her she was a good woman. Then he told her that good women are not always the right women. He said the new girl, Adeaze, had education, had a family that would support them, had a future that matched where he was going now. You are Onitsha Market, he said. She is where I am headed. Mmasi looked at him. This man she had pulled from a locked shop in Fege. This man whose printer she had signed for. This man whose malaria sweat she had wiped at midnight. She didn't shout. She didn't throw anything. She simply smoothed her dress and said very quietly, God day, it go reach you. Then she left the room, walked to the road, hailed the keke, and rode back towards the only place in the world that still smelled familiar, Onitsha Market. She sat in the keke and stared at her hands the whole way, the same hands that had built something for a man who handed it to another woman and called it a future. Behind her, the lights in her apartment disappeared into the night traffic. Ahead of her, she didn't know yet, but something old and sharp was returning to her eyes. The Onitsha babe was not dead. She was just waking up angry. And angry Onitsha women, they don't cry twice. Grief in Onitsha does not last long. The market won't let it. By 6 the next morning, the generators were screaming, the traders were shouting, and the world had already moved on from Mmasi's pain. She tied her wrapper, packed her bag, and went to the stall. What else was she going to do? Sit in her room and rot? Her auntie didn't raise a woman for that. She worked. She greeted customers. She counted money. She did not speak about Olisa. But Onitsha is a small city with a large mouth. Within a week, the story had traveled from main market all the way back to her mother's compound in inland town. Everyone knew. The man she had sacrificed for had left her for a new woman the moment his business became profitable.